Hi everyone, welcome to an episode of Skis Productions. Today I kind of wanted to do basically a close-up view of the Tribex tripod and the case and everything like that. So let me just kind of show the case a little bit more here. So you see it's made out of like this faux leather, texturized leather here. And you can also use this case as a backpack, which I didn't actually realize that until later on yesterday. Otherwise I would have mentioned it in my video, but you just basically take these straps, sling it over your shoulder, put it up like that, and it sits quite comfortably, and that's why it's like that. So let me kind of go up here so you can see that's why it's like that, and it's nice and well balanced. I guess if you're a heavier guy, that's why they have different mounting points here on the bottom, so you can go ahead and take the clips from here and put them down here. But another thing that I didn't catch yesterday is it has this little pull handle here. It also has this little loop here that I guess you can probably attach a luggage tag or something to. And on the other side, another thing I didn't catch. So I did show me opening it in the unboxing, unzipping it like that, but what I didn't realize is that I had another pair of zippers here. And that's so you can get to your mounting head and your mounting plate in here and put it on your camera so you're ready to shoot before you even get your tripod out. Alright, here's the tripod. Here's the clutch lever. Go ahead and pull out the clutch lever. Now someone asked me in the comments yesterday if I have a lot of play in my clutch lever. That's all I have, up and down. I don't really have any forward and back. But again, it's not really that much. It's basically the amount of play you'd have on a tripod leg. Now to fold this out, you just flick it out and it's ready to go. Fold it in. Get this little switch here. And it's actually spring loaded, it comes in. Now one thing I didn't mention the other day is that these legs are not spring loaded. So if I put it sideways, flip out the lever and squeeze it, the legs don't come out. They're just gravity activated. That's why you gotta have it in the up position or in the down position to deploy. So let me go ahead and deploy the legs. I'm gonna put it right about here. Now you see that lever, see how it takes like a second or two to come back out. That's one thing that's worth mentioning, because if you go to put weight on it before it's activated, it can slip a little bit. Not that much. It's like 1 to 2 seconds. It's fine. Now let's start with the fluid head up here. So one of the things that makes this tripod so expensive is the fact that it comes with this fluid head. This is a custom fluid head that was made in conjunction with Smallrig and Potato Jet. Let me go and kind of get up here. Now it's actually really quick to do height adjustments with this clutch lever. So let me go ahead and walk you guys through this head here. So you can see here it says PJ, which means Potato Jet, and you can see here it says Smallrig Potato Jet, and that shows the collaboration between the Potato Jet and Smallrig. We go ahead and turn it to this side, where you'll notice it has a counterbalance knob here. And that's something that also raises the price of this fluid head, is the fact that it has a built-in counterbalance. Now all these adjustment knobs have a rubberized ring on the outside. I did use this in the rain earlier, and it was very helpful in the rain. Where normally, if it was smooth, you'd be slipping all around. You wouldn't be able to test it. Now this is very nice. Let me just go ahead and move it. Now you can hear the clicks. That lets you know that it's ready to go. Now you also comes with the panning handle made by Smallrig, and this basically just goes on however angle you want it on, and you just do a couple turns and locks in whatever position you want it in. So let me go ahead, and you can actually extend this pan handle by undoing this barrel nut here. You just go like that and it pulls out. It actually comes out further. I'm trying to get it on camera, but yeah, it comes out pretty far. You got quite a long level to control it. And say if this lever was in your way. So this lever here, sometimes you might end up in that position. So what you can do is you can pull out on this lever and twist it down so it's out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and collapse this handle here, because I don't need it out for the rest of this demonstration. Let's go ahead and talk about the mounting plate up here. So one thing to point out about this tripod is it didn't come with any instructions whatsoever, so I've been kind of figuring things out as I go along. There is a YouTube video that Potato Jet did basically outlining the features of this tripod. But right here's your mounting plate, and what you do is you take this screw and you do one full turn around, so you see the screw again, and then you got this push button over here, right here, and you go ahead and push this. And actually, there's this plate over here is the one that retracts, so you can get this mounting plate off. Now you can actually change out the screws on this mounting plate on the head. So you got screw storage space here on the head to put the small screw and the larger screw mounting screws for your camera. So I have the smaller one because I have a Canon R6 Mark II. And the way you change this out is you look on the back here, you got this little rubber grommet here. Just flip that up. And basically you just slide that up and pull it out and put in whatever size one you need. And then this goes ahead and just goes right back in there. Before I do that, let me also show you another thing in here. So you can notice this right here where it says for RS series or for standard. Actually, let me go ahead and flip it around so I can get it right side up. Let me go ahead and show you this. So it has for RS series, for standard. And you basically have this toggle switch here where it raises one or the other. Now I'm not sure which one it's actually supposed to be on for the plate that comes with it, but I've been running it on RS series. I really don't know if it matters, but that basically just snaps in there. And like I said, you just do one full turn and this plate's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. Basically I just put the plate on so it has an angled side on the angled side of the head. The other side is kind of flat, doesn't have that angle. Another thing to point out up here is that it has two different mounting positions for accessory mounts. One here, one over here. You can actually buy this so you can mount your monitor off to the side and everything like that. Let's start down here. So you can see it says PJ right here for Potato Jet, and this is actually going to be your dampening adjustment knob for the tilting. So what you do is you just turn it that way. Basically turn it that way to tighten it, make it slower, turn it this way to make it faster. As you can see, slower, faster. And it's basically just like one rotation. You also have a lockout for both panning and tilting. So to lock it out for panning, you go ahead and just turn that one turn and it's locked out. You go ahead and turn it one turn and it's unlocked. Now let's move down to the fluid head itself. So you can see right here it has PJ on the front of it. So this is actually a custom fluid head from Smallrig and Potato Jet, and they combined this two to make Smallrig Potato Jet fluid head. Let's go over here to this side. It has a counterbalance adjustment. So that's another thing that's going to raise the price of this fluid head. It's going to be this counterbalance adjustment. Or most fluid heads won't have this counterbalance adjustment if they're cheap fluid heads. So this allows you to put up to a 13-some pound camera on this tripod. And that's kind of where they get their max weight spec from, is from this fluid head. Now another thing to note is about every single one of these control dials, they have this rubberized gripping on here, which I found that to be really helpful when I was out in the rain earlier shooting with this tripod. And down here, this is your panning adjustment. Basically you turn it to the left or counterclockwise to lessen the dampening, make it move faster, or turn it clockwise to increase the dampening. Now I personally like it to be pretty heavy. Now let's go around to the back side of this head. Go ahead and raise this up. Here is the lockout lever for the panning adjustment. Basically just flip that over and then your panning is locked. Unscrew that, panning's unlocked. Now you also have bubble level right here on the head, and you have a bubble level on the tripod itself. So now how do you go about taking off this head, or how do you change out the heads? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. So it's got a throw lever here, and basically you have this orange piece that basically stops this thing from flipping all the way up. Now it doesn't stop it from coming loose, because you can still pull up on it and it still allows it to rotate. You can push, it doesn't really allow it to go up and down, but it still allows it to rotate. But you basically pull out on this part, and let me see if I can, actually I'll push the lever down. So you pull this out, So this part right here, this orange part, spring loaded. Pull it out and you just flip it over. And then you flip this up and then the head's unlocked. You gotta take off this Allen key here. You press this little metal button, this little silver button here, pulls out the bottom. It's got little ball bearings up here to keep it in there, let it rotate around. So this Allen key that comes with it is used for this head, to take this head on and off. So what you do is you change this head a couple different ways. First way is if you have another one of these heads, so like this metal part here, the black metal part, you just loosen that. There's a little Allen key in here in this hole, and you basically just take that, go around one full turn, and it pulls right off. And then you just put on your new head on here, and then you're ready to go. The other way you can change it out is you basically undo these 3 screws on the bottom. So what are these 3 screws for? These 3 screws are what keep it from unscrewing from the head while you're doing your panning. So say you locked out the panning and you accidentally go to pan, it's not going to unscrew from the head, which I've known on cheaper tripods. I found that out the hard way, that sometimes they come unscrewed and you don't even know that they're coming unscrewed. These 3 screws here stop it from coming unscrewed. Use this to basically loosen them. You just go one turn, and one turn. And basically everything on this tripod is just done with one turn. And then you take this metal piece, you hold this, and it unscrews. And then you have this thick mounting screw which you can use to put a ball head on this part and swap it on and off. Let's go ahead and screw this back on, and then I'll show you guys more about the tripod itself, talk you through about more how it works. You basically want to make sure these are nice and tight because you don't want your camera coming loose on you. I know I've had my camera come loose on you, and last thing you want is your multi-$1,000 camera to be falling onto the ground because it came unscrewed from the freaking head. So you're going to go ahead and take this, put that in here. Now when you put that in here, you want to make sure it's lined up with the hole. The key side is lined up with the hole. Take your Allen key. Again, for this, you're doing one full turn, and that's it. So on this fluid head, it actually has a built-in flathead screwdriver, and the flathead screwdriver is actually on the back side here. You see it right there, that little silver thing. There's not one on the other side. So it's magnetically held in there, and there's like a little groove in there. You just need to pull it out with your fingers. Or if you have gloves on, you can actually use the hook part of the Allen key to go in there. Go in there, hook it, and actually put the hook through the hole, and you can pull it out using the Allen key. So here's the head of the tripod. It's all metal. You can see the throw lever here, you can see the bubble level here, you can see the clutch, and you can see the carbon fiber on the legs. All the extensions are carbon fiber. Now you actually can adjust these legs, these little switches here. You basically pull this out, and you can see in there it's got a couple of different notches, and this thing can go out to almost 90 degrees from the head. As you can see, it's almost 90 degrees. Not quite 90 degrees, so I'm not going to say it's 90 degrees, but it's almost 90 degrees. One thing I did notice earlier when I was filming with this is that when you squeeze this clutch and those legs are extended, they don't always, you gotta basically reach out and grab them, pull them in, and then let it go because there's no weight or gravity to extend them or retract them. So that's one thing I gotta note about that. Let's go ahead and show you guys the feet. You got these feet down here. I'm not sure if you guys knew what button I was talking about, so I'll go ahead and show it here. So here's the button I was talking about. You just push that in, you pull this foot out, and then you have these spiked feet here, and that allows you to basically go on low traction surfaces or rocks and stuff like that. On this plastic foot, you basically got this little ball, and it goes inside this little groove here, and it'll put it back on, just push it back on just like that. One thing I have noticed about this tripod is that it doesn't lock in place from being pulled out. So what I mean by that is that I'm not pushing the clutch lever, and if I just pull on this, it just pulls out. But you can't push it back in without pulling the clutch lever. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the clutch lever. So they might want to put a little bit more resistance for coming out, but I'm not too concerned about it. But basically, go ahead, and it doesn't really come out when I shake it. I am shaking it pretty hard and none of the legs came out. So I'm not going to worry about it because it doesn't just fall out just from a subtle jerk or just moving it around set, just swinging it around, doesn't pop out. So I'm not worried about it. Also on the tripod, there is an accessory mount right here. There's a little place to mount accessories at right there. And that's really the only accessory mount. The other side is a throw lever, and then you got the clutch on that side. The clutch is where the bubble level is. So it's really easy to see the bubble level when you have your hand on the clutch. Go ahead and put that down, lock that in place. And in order to stow this lever, you basically push down on the PJ symbol and collapse it down, and then flip the switch, and you get it stowed. But then again, one thing that does concern me about this lever here is that it can sometimes bang against the carbon fiber like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of Velcro, I'm going to put it here next to the Tribex lettering, and then when this hits, it's not going to scratch it up or possibly crack the carbon fiber if it hits really hard. Now again, this isn't going to be flopping around in the case too much. It's going to be held basically like this, so you're going to have like that. So it can still flop around, but it didn't get damaged in transit, so I doubt that's going to happen. But it's worth mentioning. But I think that's all I have for you today. Let me just show you the tripod real quick before I stop the video. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.